Marathon number 1, 2002 New York City Marathon, November 3rd, 2002. Place, 9th. Time, 2 hours, 12 minutes, 35 seconds. Key lesson: marathoners always need to be grounded in reality. I don't want to do this ever again. That's part of the entry from my running log for November 3rd, 2002, the day I ran my first marathon. The race was an inauspicious start to my marathon career. I knew that a lot of people say never again after marathons, but I was sincere. Running the last 10K at my easy run pace, despite great preparation and mental fortitude, was just utterly unsatisfying. I felt defeated by the distance. Obviously, I didn't end up in the one-and-done club. Still, at one point in each of my 26 marathons as a pro, I asked myself, why am I doing this? Yes, even when I won Boston. I eventually learned that it's always going to hurt. But most of the time, you can come out of that absolute pit. When you're conditioned properly and your body and mind are on the same page, it's a beautiful thing. Eventually, I learned that the marathon can be the most satisfying event in running. It can even be fun. I didn't have that experience the first time. When I hit the wall after 20 miles, it was hard to override all of my negative thoughts. I like to say I got my PhD in marathoning that day. The theme of my dissertation? You need to base what you do on race day in reality, not fantasy. A new challenge. I have always set ambitious goals. I thrive on accomplishing one difficult task and using it as a stepping stone to another. That's how I came to be on the starting line of the New York City Marathon in 2002. I had started with the usual high school distance events of 1,600 and 3,200 meters, just short of 1 and 2 miles, moved up to the 5K and 10K in college, and started running longer road races after I became a pro in 1998. The marathon was the next logical step. I had always been told my future was as a marathoner, even when, as a high school runner, my self-image was that I was a miler. One of my high school advisors, Ron Tabb, was a former elite marathoner who placed second at the 1983 Boston Marathon. He could see that my efficient running form, willingness to put up with a lot in training and racing, mental toughness, and tactical smarts would suit me well over 26.2 miles. After I set the American record for 10,000 meters in 2001, I wanted to see what the marathon was about. Coach Larson, who had worked with many top marathoners, was excited about my potential. Logistically, 2002 was a good time to debut. It was in the middle of an Olympic cycle, and there were no track and field world championships, which are held every 2 years, in the years before and after the Olympics. Running New York would give me experience at the distance against a top international field on a challenging course. Plus, it's on everyone's bucket list to visit the Big Apple. That experience would give Coach Larson and me insight on whether the marathon might be a good event for me to target for the 2004 Olympics. I would be 27 on race day in New York, around the age that the conventional wisdom of the time said that distance runners are at their prime. I'm proud to be among those who eventually proved that marathoners can thrive long after their late 20s. The switch from 10K training to marathon training wasn't a drastic change for me. I already did 20-mile runs on a regular basis, starting in college. I extended the distance of my long runs before New York, topping out with a 26 and a 27-miler so that I knew I could go the distance. Long runs of the marathon distance or farther became a regular part of my training for subsequent marathons when I was healthy and had the time to build up to them gradually. Doing runs that meant being on my feet for longer than I would be on race day helped me physically and psychologically. Overall, my training for New York was ideal, with a highest mileage week of 125. This was the first time I implemented practices that became standard throughout my marathon career. I monitored my weight. I tracked my heart rate on runs. I did a lot of self-care work and got a lot of professional physical treatment.